Yeah, Chris, this is the suspect westbound on Pink Hill Road.
Police following behind in this car very closely after a suspect earlier this morning ran from police after showing a gun in the Blue Springs Grain Valley area. Let's go up to Captain Greg live overhead. Captain, what have you been seeing?
Captain Greg, can you hear us?
Hey guys, yeah, we are picking up on this police chase. We do believe this is a suspect from this morning's search. This did come out of that neighborhood in Blue Springs. We're now just crossed over 7 Highway on the north side or the east side of Independence, and I believe this is Pink Hill Road 78, Missouri 78. And this guy's been moving at pretty high speeds. You can see he's passing that U-Haul truck and the utility truck right there. So his speeds have slowed down a little bit here, but he is heading westbound towards Independence proper. We're going to keep an eye on this guy. Police are following him, but mostly from a distance right now, definitely keeping tabs on him. And as you can see, the speed picking up a little bit westbound coming up into Independence.
Okay, thank you, Captain Greg. We are going to keep SkyTracker up for the moment. We do want to get to Sarah. She is with police at this moment. Sarah, what are they able to tell us?
Yep. Hey, good morning. We're here again with Deputy Chief Bob Munns. So they are chasing the suspect in Independence.
We have a rapidly developing situation. It appears they may have broken into a house or got into a house and forced a set of keys from the owner of the residence at gunpoint and was in pursuit now. The officers are in pursuit of him somewhere in Jackson County. And then we also have, at the same time, we appear to have a rollover accident here on I-70. So everybody, please be cautious. Please be careful.
So this happened in Blue Springs where he went to a house and...
I'm not sure. I don't have that information. Somewhere in this area, not too far from where we were searching.
Now, did he force his way in? How did he get into
I don't have that information. The impression I have is that he had a weapon and forced the keys away from the owner of the house.
Is the owner okay? Do you know?
I don't have that information. I'm assuming yes, but I don't have that information.
But now
it's happening right now. Okay. This is rapidly developing.
And it's going into Independence, correct?
That's what I understand, last I heard.
Okay.
So he is on the move. He is with a car right now.
Yeah, we believe it's him. We're pretty sure it's him, and we think he's being chased by police officers right now.
Okay, thank you very much for the information. Again, a very rapidly developing situation here. They think they have the suspect. They're following him in a stolen car. Again, the second stolen car after he had broken in or went to a house in Blue Springs and forcibly took a car from a homeowner. So we'll continue to have live updates on that. And if and when they catch him, we will have the updates here at KSHB.com and online, or here on our air and online as well. Back to you.
Yeah, Sarah, we are following this SkyTracker live with the suspect. Police are chasing the suspect right now. Sarah, can you also find out for us, was that homeowner taken at all? Do we know if there's anyone inside the car with that suspect? We'll let you find out. We'll check back with you.
No, I can ask him now. So do you know if the homeowner is still at the house? Is anybody else in the car with him?
No, I believe he's by himself. I believe the homeowner's still at the house.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, back to you guys.
We're following this chase, and we'll put SkyTracker back up live over this chase of this gunman. They believe it's the gunman who showed a gun to police earlier this morning, ran away across I-70 during a traffic stop.
Yeah, this all started about 4:40 this morning. They've been looking for this person for 4 hours, and then this just developing in the last few minutes. This driver speeding through the area. Look at this, weaving in and out of these lanes around these cars who have no idea what's happening. So at 4:40 this morning, police right just east of Adams Ferry Parkway and I-70 tried to pull over a stolen car. That car crashed. The driver got out, and police then say they saw a gun. And that's when officers fired at the suspect, who ran north of I-70 into this area that has open fields, neighborhoods. And then just in the last 15 minutes or so, they started to find some evidence. And now we know from police, they say that this person had a weapon and used that weapon to get the car keys from a homeowner or someone in that area, and now took off in the second stolen vehicle.
All right, let's go back up to Captain Greg to find out. This is going into a neighborhood where we've already seen this suspect flying through intersections, not stopping for any reason. So, Captain Greg, where exactly is this happening right now?
Okay, we are still over in Independence, Patrick, now southbound. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with this area right here, but it is east of 291 and about Missouri 78. We come down here. I think this is actually going to be 23rd Street, and we'll see what he does when he gets down to 23rd Street. He should go east or westbound there, but definitely more now into the residential area of eastern Independence. Okay, looks like he's going to go westbound, so now heading back towards 291, and I believe that is, 23rd Street.
That is an incredibly busy area of Independence, Captain Greg. Are you seeing a lot of traffic around where he is?
Well, in particular, where he's coming up into now, the Price Chopper there on 291. I think there's a supply store there, so he's going to come up to 291 here in just a few seconds, and we'll see what happens. But definitely getting much more congested. Police are following him. A number of patrol cars. They're not doing anything to interdict him right now, but police definitely staying right behind him.
Is he turning north or south right now on 291?
And now he's going to be northbound on 291.
Headed toward the Sugar Creek area that's just north of there in the Independence area.
If you have friends or family in this area, you might want to call them or text them, give them a heads up that this the suspect, gunman who possibly stole keys from a homeowner that he broke into their home, is on the run, not stopping at stoplights, flying through these intersections as we see. And we also saw police just a few minutes ago try to deploy the stop sticks. They threw them onto the road, but that driver actually went off the road as we were hearing from police, drove around those stop sticks. And Captain Greg, have you seen police? Are they how many times have they tried to deploy those stop sticks?
That was, I think, the only time they had the opportunity, Patrick, back there. And we thought that he did hit it. We could see the stop stick kind of fly up in the air. By the way, still northbound 291 just past Truman, so headed up towards 24 Highway. And once again, a kind of a populated area up there. Northbound 291 here in Independence, Patrick.
Looks like he's thinking about taking a turn here. What street is that? Do you know? Is that Kentucky? Oh, turning around.
He's turning around, trying to. That police might have him blocked in. No, he's gonna.
Wow.
Do a 360 back.
Push on the road. Push on the road. Okay.
Look how close that patrol car is now. Police trying to keep as close as they can safely during this chase. Now this is going on several minutes. They've been following him from the Blue Springs, I-70, Adams Dairy Parkway area, all the way over north of 291 and 23rd Street in Independence, headed north on 291.
Now we're trying to find out. Now we're seeing speeds picking up as police are trying to catch up to the suspect. This has caused a lot of problems this morning. The Kohl's Distribution Center there in Blue Springs was on lockdown for hours this morning. Might still be on lockdown because of this search, and now presumably the gunman they were looking for is this suspect who is running from police in this stolen car, believed to be, police think it's stolen from a homeowner nearby.
Just got off of 291. Captain Greg, can you tell what street this is? Going back over 291 right now. Looks like possibly headed west.
Yep. All right, Captain Greg, yeah, I know you've been talking with, who else are you talking to? You're talking to the police chopper just to make sure you stay out of their way?
Westbound 24 Highway from 291. Westbound 24 Highway. So now heading towards the downtown area of Independence.
An incredibly busy area right now in Independence, especially at this time of morning. Seeing him, look at the speed being taken on 24 Highway right now.
And looks like some wet roads as we're still seeing the snow from earlier this week melting. So just wonder about how this is going to end. Now he's pulling into a parking lot. Okay, SkyTracker's shot breaking up, but we're going to stay on this.
Driving through the yard, back in there and into a neighborhood right now. Oh, police right there. They keep trying to block him in, but we saw him maneuver back around police, almost doing a figure 8, north, then south, then north again on 291.
Now
Again.
going the wrong way in that road. Where exactly are we right now, Captain
Now
Greg?
headed back towards 291. Eastbound.
Headed back towards. Okay. If you're just joining us, police told us that they think this driver got this second stolen car because he had a weapon and was able to use that weapon to get the keys from potentially a homeowner near where this first started, I-70 and Adams-Dairy Parkway, just north of that, north of I-70.
So this is in the Independence area. So warn your friends or family who might be in that area or going to be driving through there. Look out for this driver, high-speed chase with police in the Independence area.
Really speeding down this highway right now. You see passing other drivers who have no idea this driver is coming up on them. Speeding through intersections, not stopping. And again, looks like he's going on the shoulder to try to get around the traffic here.
Fortunately, the drivers around him seem to be aware enough to pull over to get out of the way as police continue this chase. Captain Greg, can you tell how close are police to the suspect?
You know, Patrick, they're closer than they typically would be in these situations. You know, a lot of times if it's just a regular stolen car, they stay a good distance behind. There are multiple patrol cars behind him and actually maneuvering in the area to try to get a position for a stop stick. He has doubled back now. We are southbound again on 291, and we're going to be back towards like 23rd Street here if he keeps continuing southbound. Of course, there'll be more traffic in that area, but as you can see, still very desperately weaving in and out of traffic right here.
Look how close police are, and we did see police, as they approached, try to throw stop sticks out and then yank them back out of the way so the officer's car didn't run over those stop sticks as he is speeding southbound on 291 and 23rd Street. He's weaving, pulling off. There's a lot of stores and a strip mall in that area. Looks like he's driving through the parking lot of a supply store. Price Chopper just on the other side of the intersection, right?
Yeah, and I think this is a farm supply store here. So going through that parking lot, police do seem like they're willing to interdict him. A lot of times they don't, but in this situation, I think police will at some point interdict him. Now we're going to be westbound on 23rd Street, just going past the Price Chop right now, westbound 23rd Street.
There are neighborhoods woven with the businesses all along 23rd Street. So if you know family and friends who live in that area, tell them to stay inside. This is the same suspect that they were looking for 4 hours earlier, who did go into that area that had a neighborhood in it and may be the place where he got this car with that weapon from the homeowners potentially in that area.
And again, looks like just flying through red lights here. He was heading northbound on 291, then turned around, went southbound. Now, as you heard Captain Greg say, 23rd Street is where they're heading. And you said, is this eastbound, Captain Greg?
Yeah, actually westbound, past the Hy-Vee now. So making our way into Independence proper, headed towards Nolan Road if we keep going like this. I don't know exactly the streets right here. I think coming up on Lee Summit Road here pretty quick.
And now he's going the wrong way, crossing over traffic there. Okay, now into a neighborhood. Police right on his tail as they try to stop the suspect, who they said broke into a home in the Blue Springs area. Now picking up speed going through this neighborhood. This suspect believed to be the gunman who broke into a home and took a homeowner's car keys at gunpoint, or at least with some weapon, police say.
Is this the Lee Summit Road? Kathy, can you tell?
No, we didn't make it, I don't think that far, Lindsay. Well, actually, I'm sorry. We're going to be west of Lee Summit Road. So now in a neighborhood, and as he goes westbound again, now headed back towards Nolan Road.
Look at all of these homes, and this suspect is driving, speeding through this neighborhood with police in hot pursuit just behind him. This is very near William Chrisman High School. We're in Independence, just kind of west of the 23rd Street, 291 intersection. The neighborhood's just about a half mile to a mile down the road from that.
Okay, guys, we're going to be at Nolan Road here in just a second. You'll have to make a decision north or southbound on Nolan Road.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to go northbound. So now headed back towards 23rd Street and towards Independence proper.
Is he headed towards I-70 or away on Nolan
Away
Road?
right now. Yeah,
Away.
Yeah.
Okay, police, you see there, they're trying to make sure traffic coming toward him, since he's crossed the yellow line, trying to make sure traffic coming their way is aware of that, and hopefully trying to keep that suspect on the right side of the road as they stay right on his tail.
They seem to be ready at the major intersections here. They're waiting, kind of trying to block traffic.
Police are definitely at 23rd Street. You're going to maneuver right. Try to get some strip. I don't think they got it.
It is tough to
get
ahead.
So now westbound again. Westbound again on 23rd Street.
On 23rd Street. Really busy part of town here. You see police trying to get ahead of this when they can, with the suspect speeding down 23rd Street, now going on at least 10 minutes that they've been on the run from police. Again, if you're just joining us, this started at 4:30 this morning. Looks like he's crossing into wrong-way traffic. He's in the median on 23rd Street. Look how close the police are behind him on both sides
might
here.
interdict him right here. You can see
Trying to
police
box him in.
maneuvering on.
Look at the drivers they pass.
All right, we're going to be careful with this here because police believe this is an armed and dangerous suspect. So we're going to be careful with what we show. Skytracker, you might want to pull out here, depending on what happens, as police finally have this suspect's car stopped, this stolen car with an armed and dangerous individual inside. All right, police with weapons drawn, as you see.
Making gestures with his hands, it seems.
We believe the suspect is the only one inside.
They've opened the door. They've got a hold of him.
They're pulling the suspect out. Is he resisting? It looks like he is starting to resist, or they're trying to get the seatbelt off if he was wearing a seatbelt. Hard to tell what's happening now. It looks like he might be resisting. Okay, let's zoom out just in case police have to use further tactics here. All right, now it looks like the suspect is out. Something fell onto the ground. An officer just kicked that out, possibly a weapon, as they take this suspect into custody. And this is happening right on, this is 23rd Street in Independence, right, Captain Greg?
Yeah, Patrick, that is correct. I'm going to try to get you across street here in just a second, but it is almost directly due south of the downtown area.
Right, police do have this driver on the ground. They told us that they believe this was the suspect that at 4:40 this morning, when police tried to pull over a stolen vehicle, crashed that vehicle, got out. There's the vehicle right there that they say crashed that vehicle. The driver got out, showed a gun. Police then fired at that suspect, who they say took off on foot north over I-70. Then they spent hours from 4:30 to about 8:15 or so looking for this suspect. And then police believe the suspect used a weapon to get the car keys of this car from someone in that area.
And now, as you see, police have been able to take this suspect into custody on the ground as they put, looks like he still might be resisting. Or are they rolling him over just to check for any more weapons? It looked like he did have a weapon, and that officer jumped into the car, presumably to secure that weapon. It eventually looked like there was a weapon that was dropped onto the ground right outside of the car, as police took him into custody and are now searching him for any other weapons or contraband or anything else he might have on him.
We can see that he is talking to police as they deal with wrapping up the situation. But again, police have him in custody after, if this is the same suspect they believe, pulled over and showed a gun to officers at 4:40 this morning, 4.5 hours ago in Blue Springs. This is in Independence.
And you see just how many different agencies of officers, the different uniforms you see: Jackson County Sheriff, KC-Mo Police, as well as at one point, Blue Springs, Green Valley on this as well.
So we're going to keep this view of Skytracker up so we can show you what's happening right now. But let's get to reporter Sarah Blake. She's been on the ground where this all started for several hours. Sarah.
It looks like he is in custody. There may have been a weapon based on the footage. I'm not sure. Now, I do want to let you know that we still have not confirmed how he retrieved that vehicle. And I want to make sure we'll have to make sure that this is indeed our suspect. But it does appear to be that way. It does appear to be that he was armed. I also want to let you know that it does appear, based on our investigation here, that there is an assault rifle laying by the fence line that he may have been trying to load during the altercation with the police officers at one point before he ran away.
So right over here, where he got pulled over.
Where the vehicle ended up, yes, the initial stolen vehicle. So this, I'm hoping that the situation is resolved, that he's in custody and this crisis is over. But we do need to confirm that, and I do hope that the resident, wherever the second vehicle was taken from, that they are okay. So we'll find that out.
Okay, we're hearing he did not possibly show the resident that gun. He just said he was armed.
I don't know the details on that. Okay. I've been here with you guys, so you know as much as I do right now. I'm giving you all the information I have. But we're hoping everybody's okay. It looks like it was resolved without injury and that the suspect was taken into custody.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, updated information. This just happened where we saw Sky Tracker live. We saw the police getting the suspect out of that vehicle after chasing him from Blue Springs to Independence. Again, still trying to confirm that that is our suspect from earlier this morning here at this traffic stop here behind me. Again, we were hearing from Deputy Chief Bob Munns of Blue Springs that there's an assault rifle that they were looking at over here along the fence line here. Again, still trying to put together all the pieces of the puzzle to definitely confirm that that is the same suspect through both crimes, because at this point it would be the second vehicle that suspect has stolen. So stay with us here on air and online at kshb.com. We'll have more updates for you.
And you're seeing live on the right side there, Independence Sky Tracker overhead in Independence, where the suspect is in custody. Looks like he has handcuffs on, but police are also treating this victim. You see the medical bag next to the officers. They're treating him. We're not sure exactly what for, but now you're seeing medics from the fire department coming in to help out to treat this suspect. We're not sure if he was injured, possibly shot. We're not sure exactly what happened, but we're going to keep an eye on this as police and medics continue to treat this suspect.
We've been seeing that suspect continue to writhe, and we didn't know if that was because of that injury or if possibly resisting arrest. This is all developing live on TV that you are seeing after 4 hours, 4.5 when this initially started. Let's take you back to how this started. Blue Springs police say at 4:40 this morning, they tried to pull over a stolen vehicle. That one you see right there, that vehicle crashed. They say the driver got out. And they say this has been changing throughout the morning. The latest update is that that person showed a gun. An officer fired at that person, and that person took off north over I-70. They then spent several hours looking for that person.
Now, we couldn't tell. Once we were able to come back here, we've been updating you throughout the morning. Police were searching in different areas in the Blue Springs, Grain Valley area, different neighborhoods. The Kohl's Distribution Center just north of I-70 was on lockdown. People were not allowed to leave or go out or come in as we were hearing from police. And then eventually that led to this high-speed chase that lasted for about 20 minutes or so, it seemed like. It went from Blue Springs, Grain Valley area, now ended in Independence. You're watching this live on the right side. The left side is a view of that chase, and that's when the suspect went around stop sticks at one point and continued the chase until it ended here on the right side, where police eventually had to go into the car, pull the suspect out, get him onto the ground. Multiple officers had to put him into handcuffs, and now medics are on the scene treating him. We're not exactly sure why, if he was shot, if he was injured for some other reason, but they are treating him right there on East 23rd Street, just south of downtown Independence.
Yeah, police say they do still have to confirm that this is indeed the suspect from that incident this morning in Blue Springs. But the chase did stem from that nearby area and go all the way into Independence. And yeah, as you saw, the medics really taking over where police were, where they dragged that suspect out of the car after this chase.
And multiple agencies working on this. You see the different agencies there on the scene. Also back where this all started back in Blue Springs. And we heard Sarah Plake talk to the Blue Springs public information officer giving us an update. They think this is the same suspect. They're not sure, but they're going to give us an update. Make sure the homeowner whose car was stolen, that's a stolen car right there from someone's home. The homeowner had the keys taken at either gunpoint or with some sort of weapon from this suspect.
We're going to be staying on top of this. It looks like more and more medical treatment is needed. You see the driver continue to kind of flail their legs around. Again, we're not sure what kind of injuries this person may have endured during this, but
live streaming video on KSHB.com is sponsored by Reese Nichols Real Estate.
Our mornings start early. Before the first cup wakes you up, we're working hard to keep you connected to Kansas City, sharing updates on important news.
Uncovering stories you won't see anywhere else, whenever you watch, wherever you watch.
Before you get moving, we're already mapping out routes to get you there faster. And before you step out the door, get an accurate forecast.
started in Kansas City, crossed the state line into Leawood, went through backyards, through a golf course. Fortunately, no one was hurt in that, and they did arrest that suspect yesterday in Overland Park. We've reported on police pulling over a stolen car, and that suspect trying to drive over that officer who fired at the suspect. That suspect is still on the loose. We have a picture of that suspect on our website, kshb.com, to try to get the word out. And now this morning, the third straight day of a police chase with a stolen car. And this is actually the second stolen car of the morning, presumably from the same suspect who police say showed a gun at officers during a traffic stop. And they shot at him about 4:30, 4:45 this morning. The search started in that Blue Springs, Green Valley area, continued for hours, and then, as we've shown you for the last half hour or so, this police chase that has now ended in Independence on 23rd Street as they continue to treat this suspect right there in the street on 23rd Street and getting ready to transport him to the hospital.
There you see on the left the moment where officers surrounded the car and dragged the suspect out of that car. And it seemed to be a bit of a struggle there to get this driver out of this car and then on the ground. And on the right, just minutes later, you're seeing right now they are loading him onto a stretcher and they are taking him from the scene. We have not heard the extent of the injuries. He has seemed to be talking with police throughout this. He seems to be, from what we can tell, conscious at this point as they're taking him away.
All right, let's get over to Sarah Plake, who is at the original scene in Blue Springs where police have been updating us. I know they're dealing with multiple agencies, Independence, Casey Moe, Jackson County Sheriffs. What is the latest? What are they able to tell you about what we know?
Well, at this point, the Deputy Chief, Bob Munz of Blue Springs, who's here with us, he's been providing us details all morning. He's still trying to piece together all the information. At this point, nobody has confirmed for sure 100% that the suspect in this scene is the same suspect that they arrested and took out of that second stolen car that we were watching on SkyTracker just moments ago. So, of course, they're going to continue to, piece all that information together, and but they are pretty confident that it's the same suspect. So again, this morning, it was a traffic stop. He got out, showed a gun to police. Police returned fire. He took off across I-70. It was a manhunt on foot. And then we were hearing that he had forcibly took a homeowner's car keys in Blue Springs. And then that's what started that police chase. We did get more information from the deputy chief that over here near the fence line, they found a weapon, a rifle of some sort. So that could have been dropped as he was escaping or trying to run from police. They're really not sure. So we're going to continue asking more questions. A lot of officials here on scene that hopefully will give us some more updates. You can watch us here live or kshb.com. Back to you.
So, Sarah, during this traffic stop, are police able to tell us what do they mean? I think they specifically said this suspect displayed a gun. Does that mean he had it in his hands? Was it in his waistband? Was he actually pointing it at officers? Can they tell us that? And also, what do we know about that homeowner who had his car stolen? Is that homeowner okay? Do we know what the condition is?
Well, right now, from officials on scene, they're not sure if the homeowner's okay or not. He said earlier in the live report he certainly hopes so. Of course, they're going to be checking on that homeowner to figure out how that happened. Did the suspect go over and knock on the door? Did he break down the door? Did he display a gun to that person? We don't know yet because it happened just so fast. And as for showing or displaying, I'm not sure how it played out. I know that earlier this morning he was telling me that this had developed so fast. It happened so fast that they weren't even able to get a detailed description of that suspect. We knew that he was a white male with brown hair with a dark jacket, but then we saw on SkyTracker the man that they took into custody. It appeared that he had, military or army pants on, and it appeared that he didn't have a shirt on. He was kind of on his back there in Independence on 23rd Street when they took him into custody. So we'll be here asking more questions.
Captain Greg, I saw you zoom in on a street sign there, if you can hear me. It looked like Union. Are you seeing this between Chrysler and Nolan Road on 23rd Street?
Yeah, Lindsay, that's about right. Union is about halfway between Nolan and Chrysler, maybe a little bit closer to Chrysler. There is a